Welcome to another coffee break here on my channel Firm Learning. My name is Heinrich, and as you know, on my channel I want to help you to become successful in the first years of your career. And this is why I'm especially happy that today's video is sponsored by Inverto. Inverto is a consulting company that focuses on supply chain management and procurement consulting. They are part of the Boston Consulting Group. And here today I'm standing in front of their Munich offices and we are meeting Lars. Lars is a managing director, a partner of Inverto here in Munich, and Lars is going to show us how the typical day of the life of a consultant, of a partner here in Munich looks like. So let's get into it.
Hey everybody, my name is Lars, I'm Managing Director at Inverto, and as you can see, with such nice weather I love to ride my bike to the office in the morning. Had to drop off my daughter in the kindergarten a minute ago, and I'm happy to take you on a little tour on my regular day with Inverto today. And yeah, I would say let's get started.
So we just came together here to do a couple of corona tests. So of course at Inverto at the moment there is home office policy. There is some flexibility following a hygiene concept to come to the office on a very limited basis. Today of course now a bit more people came just for the video. Again, we are tested. I'm also vaccinated. So I trust this is going to be safe. Let's do it.
I'm done with my meeting. If you want, we can quickly sit together and talk about your first month with Inverto.
Yeah.
Hey Marie, you're now 1 month with us in the Munich team. And yeah, obviously I'm curious to know if you get to know all people already, how was the onboarding?
Yeah, of course, it's quite difficult to start in these times, but I got the chance already to get to know a few people, and all are trying their best to feel very welcome here. And we already had some lunch dates. We have quite few formats to get to know each other, like the online lunch dates and also the beer fridge. So yeah, it's cool.
So now we need to give Lars some privacy for some confidential calls. We're going to catch up with him in a couple of hours. And in the meantime, I have the opportunity to talk to some other colleagues of Lars. So let's get in here, do some little interviews, and hope that this is going to be interesting for all of you.
We are focusing on procurement and logistics. Within procurement, for example, there are different types of topics we can support. It's about organizational topics, but it's also about realizing savings and making some impact at the client. So usually actually we start with an opportunity assessment phase, which takes like 4 to 6 weeks, where we elaborate all the potentials, all the synergies within that company, and the outcome is more or less a PowerPoint slide deck, usually. However, then actually we start then execution, and that makes us probably very different to other consultancies. So we define initiatives on a very operational level, and then we execute them and bring them into reality, which then actually means like we negotiate with suppliers. We identify the tactics individually for each of these type of negotiations together with the client. We do the negotiations and then we come to a conclusion together in that team, and then we have actually immediately the impact for the client.
And this is also because I also did a couple of procurement projects in my time in consulting, and this is really what I like most about this topic. And in contrary to many other types of projects, while you are there, you're really seeing the impact and you are driving the impact, right? Correct. This is really what's special about it. So yes, great opportunity. So we just picked up Lars from his office. I think you're done now with your calls, and now we have some time to go to lunch. We pre-ordered a couple of bagels. I'm very hungry, so looking forward to that. So let's follow us and let's go. So Lars, now you had a couple of calls. We are of course quite excited to learn and understand what these were all about. Can you maybe just share the topics, what you discussed?
Yeah, sure. So now in the current situation we have with all the remote work, the number and frequency of calls is like really incredible. A lot of half-hour check-ins, 1-hour meetings with the teams, and that's also what I did this morning. So it was for 2 of my teams for 2 different projects. We did a check-in, let's say, for the week to understand what's going on, what our priorities, what meetings come up with higher management with our client, and who's doing what and on what topics. And then I had a longer review with one of my teams where we went through all the topics. So all the consultants basically presented where they are standing, what are current challenges. And that was one topic. In between, a potential client called where we sent out late on Friday an offer to give us some feedback. I think that was about it. And you were taking part also in this meeting with Marie in the office, who is 1 month with us. So I wanted to know from her how the onboarding was, how she's doing, how she was, let's say, also welcomed by the team. I think that was it in the last 2.5 hours.
Makes sense, and this really sounds like we earned the lunch very much. So very much looking forward to that, Lars.
Yeah, me too.
Schon gehört? So now we are here in Munich, actually, in the English Garden and enjoying our lunch. But now please be also honest. Is this the case every single time? Do you always have the opportunity to have lunch like this?
So actually, obviously we try to have some break every day. Sometimes it's in front of the computer. Sometimes we do manage to go with a bigger group to a restaurant and enjoy an hour of lunch break. But or to go here to the English Gardens, but it's not working every day. Like me personally, I do need to have food sometime in between, or I run out of energy. But yeah, it's not always in such a nice scenery. Yeah.
It would have surprised me if you would have said anything else. So we are back here from lunch, and I understand this is now Lars' office. And indeed, now I know that you have several calls now lined up for this afternoon. I think now one very important one. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about this.
Yeah, most important one right now is a steering committee meeting for a full potential plan we're doing for an engineering company and started to work for them 2 weeks ago.
So what is a SteerCo, Lars? Because I know that SteerCos are very important meetings, also frequently have them. Can you maybe just the listener fill them in a little bit? What is this all about?
Yeah, it's indeed quite important. This is also why we need to do it in the middle of the day, because from the top management of our client, people from Asia Pacific, Europe and Americas will join, so we need to look at the time zones. So steering committee meeting is really about showing what findings we have from the couple of first weeks with our client, and also making important decisions for the way forward, so the next weeks to follow.
So what is this like? Can you just talk about the expectations, the pressures that you're facing?
Yeah, actually, thanks for mentioning that. But on us as the procurement work stream out of this full thing, where our colleagues from BCG are also doing strategy, production footprint, sales activities, and so on. I would say right now there's quite a little bit of pressure on the Inverto team, because procurement is always the first work stream to deliver P&L savings to our clients. So all eyes on us today. So fingers crossed that they like what we found and that they agree to our conclusions. Yeah.
So looking then forward to the feedback afterwards. Happy to then talk about this. If you are looking for a new job opportunity, Inverto is hiring a significant amount of people this year. So in the video description, I will insert a link to a career event, Coffee and Career Talk, where Inverto is answering all your questions about what it's like to work at Inverto, to work as a consultant. This event will take place in German. So if you are an international applicant, they still have lots of other vacancies in many of the European offices. I will link this career page there as well. So have a look, browse around. I trust if you're interested in a career in consulting, this might be something relevant to you. So welcome back, and let's see whether Lars is now done with his SteerCo and what he has to say. So Lars, SteerCo is over?
Yes, it's over. Took a few extra minutes, but now we are done.
Awesome. How was it?
It was good. So we knew it's a challenging audience, and we got some challenging questions. But as a team, I think we were very good in answering them, and also from our side, placed some critical statements toward the client where we need to improve jointly, or they need to improve on the way forward. And they agreed with our perspective. We agreed on next steps for the coming weeks. A lot of workshops ongoing. We now need to prepare to deliver all this. And it's another 4 weeks now to the next final SteerCo already in this first phase of the project. And we know what to do, how to do it. All good.
Sounds like a good outcome. So if it's okay for you, can I ask you a couple of more questions on what it's like to be a partner in a consulting firm?
Yeah, sure.
So I guess let's go over the center. Thank you. So Lars, thanks for taking the time to sit with me here today and talk a bit about what it's like to be a consultant and specifically to be a partner. Now, before we jump into this latter aspect of it, of being a partner, I know that many people in my audience here at Firm Learning are really interested to become a consultant as well. And I trust that many of you are asking yourselves, well, how do I know whether this career as a consultant is right for me? Whether I will have the potential to become a good consultant? How would you reply to that?
Yeah, and not such an easy question. And actually, we are asking us the question ourselves when we're doing recruiting interviews. What are the most important traits somebody needs to bring? And obviously, you need to be, let's say, quick and sharp, and need to have a good understanding. And the willingness to learn, I think, is one very important aspect, because we know that people from university or also coming from other jobs, they don't know everything they will need as a consultant.
This very much resonates with my own experience in consulting for sure. And this is maybe then a great transition to a next thing that I hope also many of you will be interested in. And this is, now let's imagine you work as a consultant. You already made it, or maybe also in another role in industry, another high-paced career. And now, of course, you don't just want to make a good job, but you really want to make a great job, right? You want to be successful, you really want to do your best. So from your perspective, what distinguishes a good consultant from a great consultant? How are you really outstanding? What do you need to do? What distinguishes these two types of profiles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a question I often get as a coach for our people internally, where I take, let's say, a career advisor role throughout a couple of years for younger colleagues. And for me, one of the most important topics here would be to be proactive. So not reacting on what your project manager, the client demands or whatever, but always trying to think 1 or 2 steps ahead. What's happening next? What do I need to prepare now to make the project successful in the next step? And then secondly, also an advice I give very many people within our organization is also to think in solutions. So not come back in your project team to your project manager or whatever with a problem. It's great to ask questions, and if you have a problem, you should come back. But when you come back, I expect the very good people always to have thought through a different series, let's say, of solutions they might have. And they can still ask me, is it the right one? Maybe I have a totally different one. But if I see they thought about it, they have some good first ideas, then it's much more easier. And this is also making the difference to find the right solution, and not just, here is my problem, solve it for me.
So I'm with Marie here today. Marie started at Inverto a month ago, and I'm looking forward to now see a bit of the office. Marie, can you show us around?
Yeah, sure, I can show you the office.
So let's do it.
So here's our kitchen, where you can meet the colleagues and have some lunch time. And here you can see all of the team in Munich. And of course, during the COVID situation, we cannot meet everyone here. But yeah, we have also coffee to get new energy for the working day. So let's see the rest of the office. And this is, for example, one of our offices. We have a flexibility situation that you can book your room if you are in the office. And of course, there are just quite few people.
So now it's already quite late in the afternoon, Lars. Now we had the opportunity to follow you around for quite some time. You need to be honest with us. How representative was this day really? Is this really how it goes every day? How does it usually really look like?
So obviously every day can be very different. But I think for the current situation with the travel restrictions still on, I think it was quite representative, except the fact that I'm not always working from the office. So we try to follow some strict rules, not to be too often in the office. So it's partly from home, partly from the office. But then it's very similar, having a long list of calls throughout the day till the evening. When we have no travel restrictions, obviously the day can be totally different. So then it's usually for me 1 to 3 days, sometimes 4 days of traveling a week, to different clients usually, 2 or 3 throughout the weeks, having steerco meetings, pitch meetings with potential new clients, workshops, also internal meetings with BCG, Inverto internal, and so on, which could mean like taking the early flight in the morning, coming back with the late flight in the evening, and moving out the next day again. But that's then totally different week by week.
Makes sense. So thanks for being able and allowing us to accompany you. I think we will leave you alone now. So fill us in. How will now your day continue? How long will you need to go on? What does it really look like?
Yeah, so my official schedule today says I'm done at 8:30. I hope that that will be true, and then I can take another 20 minutes bike ride to go home, get some fresh air, and that would be great.
That would sound like a great evening. Thank you, Lars. Appreciate it. All the best to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now a big thank you to Inverto for inviting us into their office here in Munich and also sponsoring the video. So as always, if you took any value out of this video at all, please destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm and also subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on more content like this. I also have an Instagram, the handle is Firm Learning, and I also want to say a big thank you to all the members of the channel. You're really making a difference. Thank you so much. And indeed, if you want to continue your learning journey with this channel, now there will be some videos that will appear here next to me that you can check out. I release new videos every single Saturday, so stay tuned for next week. Good weekend to all of you. This is Heini from Learning. Bye bye.